In the 16th century, the cannabis plants became a valuable commodity used for various resources across the country of Mexico, expanding its market all over Latin America, much more the New World. Originally, cannabis was known as canamo, and it was claimed to be introduced to Mexico by a Spanish conquistador named Pedro Cordado, who received an encomienda or labor grant to sow cannabis after his victorious conquest of Mexico in the mid-1500s. The plant would not gain much widespread use until the 1800s, when foreign plants cannabis sativa from Europe and indica plants from India were imported. Cannabis was appraised for its medicinal properties and strong fiber, as opposed to the psychoactive effects it has been notoriously identified with in recent times. During the 1800s, Mexican medical protocol allowed pharmacists to recommend marijuana to the public. At the time, it was appraised and still illegal. Cannabis, hemp in particular, was cultivated and commercialized around the New World as a valuable source for clothing, rope, and sails. This was until 1925, when Mexico officially banned the use of marijuana, among other narcotics. Their new legislature was set upon the ideals of protecting their national security and preventing conflict with their foreign relations. As the 19th century approached, the etymology of cannabis had evolved yet again, and it was no longer referred to as such. Instead, it was nicknamed marijuana, or to an even more shortened and formal term, mota. The reason for the sudden changes of terms were due to a sequence of causes and effects. In 1925, cannabis was officially outlawed in Mexico, and the U.S. would follow legislation soon after. The terms derived from the ghettos of Mexico and were exchanged between drug lords and cartels to keep the outlawed plant stashed in secrecy. Marijuana quickly became misrepresented as a demonic plant that caused maniacal behavior after a propaganda campaign known as Reefer Madness was created in Mexico City. Thousands of media publications were distributed across North America and Mexico to promote a negative image of marijuana and to scare off anyone who was inquisitive about the plant. During the 1970s and 1980s, a new military tactic known as the Paraguay program was issued by both Mexican and U.S. governments in an effort to eradicate any remaining marijuana fields that may be harvested by a criminal or farmer. These fields were burned with a toxic chemical named Paraguay, hence the name of the program. The chemical is known to cause severe mutilation of human flesh. Our voyage through the history of marijuana in Mexico has finally reached the frontier. Here and now in modern times, policy reform is being discussed by the Mexican government as a result of U.S. legalization of marijuana in the states of Washington and Colorado. Inner-city protests are being supported by prominent figures such as former President of Mexico, Vicente Fox, who has publicly stated the legalization of marijuana could definitely benefit the country's economy, and he could see the farmers growing their gardens already. After such a dark, controversial past, it seems the future of marijuana in Mexico may be bright.